Yep, but what? We're here. God, I swear I had something to talk about before we got to the actual show, and now I can't remember what the hell it was. I haven't seen any bad movie.
Yeah.
I forgot the last movie I saw in the movie theater. Remember, it was a couple weeks ago. It was okay. Damn it, I don't know what it is.
The last movie I saw was Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton was really good. Oh my god, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
I need to see it. Son of a bitch. I dropped the ball on that one. I saw there was something else that came out that week that's just like bombed that I went to see instead. But that thing's because it catered to my curiosity more. It might have been, I think that was the week. Not Transporter Refueled, haven't watched that. Agent 37 came out. Hitman Agent 37.
Yeah.
What a bad movie. Well, mediocre action film, really. It's for a movie based on a video game, it's good. For a movie in general,
yeah,
it's a movie based on a video
game. The bar is fairly low on that. Once you put that in there.
Yeah.
Like, wow, was it better than Street Fighter? Was it better?
I would say it's better than the first Hitman movie. I mean, for starters, the female character doesn't feel like she's there just because she's willing to show her tits in one scene, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
There is this part where she, for no reason whatsoever, decides to do some topless poolside swimming in the middle of a movie about a bunch of people hunting her down and possibly trying to kidnap or kill her. Because that's when I want to be caught as a woman, topless.
Mm.
When people are coming in with guns. Ooh. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everyone, to High Class Geek News, where we don't report the news, we tell you what we think about it. I am your friendly neighbor, Geekzoid Evan Ransom, and with me today is Nikki B.
Hey, how's it going?
Yep. It's good, because everybody has things to do all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. We may or may not be joined by John later. It depends on what his job does. This job called him in. But that's okay. We're here. We're ready. We're going to geek out. Tonight's episode, Out with Ideas, in with the Mouse. My guess is you're completely lost on that title.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah.
Our main story tonight is Kevin Feige, who is the head of Marvel Studios, no longer has to answer to a man whose last name is Perlmutter, who basically has owned for the better part of 15 years Marvel Publishing Group.
Okay.
He now answers directly to the head of Disney.
Yeah, I had a suspicion that mouse was involved in it.
Yeah. So for those of you who are really lost on the title, when I say Out with Ideas and In with the Mouse, Marvel was classically called the House of Ideas, and Disney is sometimes referred to as the House of Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm clever. But in this particular case, this is actually kind of a really big deal. For starters, this seems to have, either directly or indirectly, has led to a disbanding of what is the Marvel Studios Brain Trust. These are the group of people consisting of some big Marvel names such as Joe Quesada, Brian Michael Bendis, and a few other names. These people basically get together and decide what the overall plot of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are going to be, and how each one's going to tie into, like the upcoming Infinity War movies and all of that. Mm-hmm. On one hand, this has been a good thing because it helped to keep things somewhat consistent, helped to build things up naturally story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, this led to issues. Like, this is pretty much, apparently it's no secret, even though the news doesn't talk about it too much, that this is a big reason for why, what's his name, left Ant-Man. Edgar Wright left Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Ant-Man, fine movie, but I don't think anybody came out of that movie without thinking, if Edgar Wright had stuck around, this probably would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing against the guy who did, I forget his name, Peyton Reed. Nothing against Peyton Reed, he did a good job. It's just, he's not Edgar Wright. And it's basically the battalion of handset. Anyway, the good thing about this is that now Kevin Feige, because he's basically got the ear of the head of Disney, from now on, whenever there's like some kind of problem or issue, Disney can just be like, well, here, just there you go. That should solve it. Hopefully the actors will get paid more, because that's been apparently a big deal. The only one getting paid fairly was Robert Downey Jr., and the rest of them were like getting paid like scale or something like that.
Yeah.
That ain't good. Stingy Marvel. Moving on to film. Coming out in theaters this week, Sleeping with Other People and The Visit, also known as this year's M. Night Shyamalan film.
Yeah, it looks really creepy. And then, because I watched it, I'm just like, oh, this looks really good. This looks really good. And then M. Night Shyamalan, I'm like, oh, I had faith in this. And I haven't had faith in M. Night Shyamalan in a while, so I don't know.
After Last Airbender.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on Devil.
I didn't mind Devil so much. I didn't mind Devil so much, but I like.
Come on, a big plot point in the movie is what side toast falls down on.
Yeah.
It's like, I liked Sixth Sense the first 2 times I watched it. I found it does not hold up for a third screening after that. You can pretty much figure out everything about the movie after the second screening. Unbreakable is, in my opinion, his best movie by far.
Yeah.
Signs is entertaining.
I like Signs, but it hit me at the proper time to enjoy a movie like that. Like, that was around the same time, I think The Ring was coming out around that time. And I really enjoyed that, too.
It's like, to me, Signs is, on a scene-by-scene basis, a well-made movie. It becomes entertaining in a completely different way that Shyamalan clearly did not intend as an overall product.
I think my only problem with it was, like, you think as an alien race, you look at the planet you're going to go into and like, oh, hi, we're water will kill us. What? How much of the
planet covered with 2/3 of this stuff?
Wait, how much? Well, maybe we should pick a different planet. Steve, was this your idea? We're going to a different planet. Steve, you're off ship. Go.
Let's see. The Village was shit.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. I saw it in the theaters. It was shit. I knew what it was. I was one of the few people who knew what it was going in. It was still shit. Let's see. Lady in the Water. I actually like Lady in the Water, even though it is self-indulgent.
Yeah.
And The Happening once again was entertaining, but once again, like Signs, not for the reasons it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
You just never kill John Leguizamo in your first act. That should just be rule number 1. And yeah, The Last Airbender. The closest I got to watching that was watching the reviews of it. Yeah, I don't need to watch that. The reviews made me angry.
I'm pretty sure I think CinemaSins did it and they tore it apart. And I'm like, yep, I really don't need to see it.
Yeah, those were the kinds of reviews I thought. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Home video. The Age of Adeline, that Blake Lively movie no one bothered to watch. The Life of David Gale. The Man Who Wasn't There. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I need to look that one up, actually. An American Heist. Because we will not rest until we put the word American in front of every noun possible and made a movie out of it.
Mm-hmm.
For trailers this week, we got 2. One for Macbeth, featuring Michael Fassbender and someone else. I forget who the other person is, which is really bugging me. I should have wrote that down. That's some woman. So it's Magneto as Macbeth. If it's that alone. Also, a new trailer came out for Attack on Titans, which apparently is bolstering the fact that it is getting a North American release.
Which is awesome. Oh my god.
I can't wait to see live action Attack on Titans.
That is the kind of movie you have to see in theaters. It's required.
IMAX! God, I still like Sega. Sega! It's like, even if it's shit, I still want to see that in IMAX. I mean, hey, Pacific Rim wasn't a great movie, but God knows I don't regret seeing that in IMAX 3D.
You knew exactly what you were getting when you went into that.
Let me take that back. I want to see it in IMAX. I don't want to see Attack on Titan in IMAX 3D because the Titans are genuinely scary monsters to me. Like, everything about them is just disturbing. Those faces that each one is just stuck on, the fact that they just eat you for the sake of eating you, and they don't mince on the imagery of being eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a first look we saw the movie, they released the poster image for Leatherface, the prequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre that no one in their right mind asked for.
Yeah.
But that won't stop them from giving it to us. Because I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and thought, where did that guy come from? Also, we got 6 new images for Batman vs. Superman, The Dawn of Justice. A very angry-looking Superman in the rain, a shot of the Batmobile, Gal Gadot in a nice dress. You know, I'm getting sick and tired of people giving shit to Gal Gadot. Let's see how she does. I mean, I, too, was not happy with the initial casting. I thought I could not believe her as a Warrior Woman, but quite frankly, when I watched her, when I saw her in that last Batman v Superman trailer, that quick glimpse was pretty good. And damn it, she's Israeli, so she actually does know how to fight, because you actually are required in Israel to do a year of military service.
Yeah.
So everyone in Israel who's over the age of 18 is a trained fighter. So we can't say she can't kick ass.
Right.
I mean, for God's sakes, they train in Krav Maga. Also, first look, we're stretching the definition of the word look here for Star Wars, as we finally got to hear the voices of the villains Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma from The Force Awakens. But I have not had a chance to check it out yet. Have you?
No. I haven't had a chance to look at that yet.
I'm wondering if maybe Kylo Ren sounds like Darth Vader, since apparently his whole thing is he's a huge Darth Vader fanboy, and that's why he's a villain. We shall see. In casting news, the next Bourne movie has hired Vincent Cassel.
Cool.
Don't know who he's playing. I just know he's in another Bourne movie. That is about as normal as our casting news gets this week, because the next two are kind of off compared to how we normally handle casting news. The next one is Captain America Civil War, where rough week, where it has been confirmed that Mark Ruffalo has filmed scenes as Bruce Banner or the Hulk, but they have been cut from the final product.
Wow.
So there is no Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner in Captain America Civil War, because we can't have nice things. Probably the oddest bit of casting news is in the world of speculative casting, where the current official James Bond novelist Anthony Horowitz responded to his thoughts on the idea of Idris Elba playing James Bond, where he said he doesn't feel he'd be right for the part because he's too urban. Now, I am a guy who likes to make sure facts stay straight. Right. And if you read the bit where he pointed out his thoughts on Idris Elba, it's pretty obvious he did not realize that urban is code that racists use to say black without coming off as racist.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what they think. Because he does actually suggest a different choice for James Bond. He says the guy he liked to play James Bond, I can't remember the name of the actor, but it's another black guy. And he's not saying, and it's clear in context, he's not saying if you want to go a black James Bond either. He's saying this, if I remember correctly, he's saying that this is what he thinks is the best choice of the actors out there right now to play James Bond. So it actually was not a racial comment.
Yeah. But
people took it that way.
but media will clip how they will, and yeah.
He said urban.
That's racist.
You see, things like this bother me personally because we do have actual racism in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But when you use the R word on things that aren't genuinely racist, you're taking power out of the argument for when we actually are going to need it.
Right.
Like, it's one thing, it's one thing, say, if a guy's beat up by a cop, if a black guy's beat up by a white cop because he attacked that guy with the weapon, the cop had to put him down. It's another thing entirely when when the black guy is completely unarmed, was already in handcuffs, and was not attacking the cop, and he got beat down by a white cop anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But if you claim both are racist, well, it's the people who are trying to defend the cops universally are going to use the first example against you when you have a justifiable argument on the second example. This is why we stick to the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a simple thing. I'm not going to claim somebody is racist because they made a bad choice of words, especially when clearly within context you see he wasn't being racist. That said, he is still, in my opinion, wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This may come as a bit of a shot, Mr. Horowitz, but Idris Elba is this thing we call an actor. And something tells me if you give him a character who's not supposed to be urban, maybe he won't play it urban. And maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't judge how he play a non-urban character based on how he portrayed previous urban characters.
Right.
Like, okay, James Bond is not street. Well, how do you know he can't play Regal? Well, Regal actually is the way to go for it. But you're looking for suave, sophisticated upperclassmen. How do you know that Idris Elba can't play that when the only thing you've probably seen him in is The Wire and Luther?
Yeah. Wasn't he in like Prometheus? Am I getting my guys mixed up?
He's in Prometheus. He's the ship captain, but it's very much the Ridley Scott Alien-style ship captain, so he's basically a blue-collar worker in that one.
Yeah.
I'd say the reason Regal came to mind earlier is because by far the most, for lack of a better term, high-class character I've seen him play is Heimdall in the Thor movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you totally pulled this off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like... And he doesn't play Heimdall the same way he plays Luther, or his character in The Wire, or the ship captain in Prometheus, or any of those. He doesn't play blue collar. He plays him as a guy of high standard and class. So
he acts. So
that's the job of an actor. It's the same reason I always get annoyed when somebody looks at a person like Samuel Jackson and be like, oh, all they ever do is play themselves. And I'm like, how do you know that? You never met them. You never sat down and talked with them. You don't know what they're like in their daily lives. How do you know that? Okay, if you're saying there's a similarity to all their performances, that's one thing. But I kind of think you need to know someone before you can say they're playing themselves. Call me crazy. Then Samuel Jackson was the bomb in Django Unchained.
Mm-hmm.
In production news... It looks like we may be getting a Mega Man movie.
Yeah. I grew up on 8-bit Nintendo and Game Boy, and I am...
Yeah, you're happy. I'm like...
really hopeful.
Every single time I hear they're making a movie out of a video game, even if it doesn't even matter if I like the video game or not, I feel dread.
Yeah. I know the track record isn't very good, but...
You're being generous.
Yeah, I'm being extremely generous. But I have hope and faith, and it's
really
not going to help.
One of my all-time favorite games, The Last of Us, is also being made a movie. I have no faith in that movie whatsoever.
It's really bad because they have like all that source material. It's all right there.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard, guys.
And on top of that, this is Mega Man. The difference is I have no faith in the Last of Us movie, and the Last of Us is the kind of game that gives a movie director and screenwriter pretty much everything they fucking need. It's pretty much all you need to do is take the story of the game, condense it so that it covers 2 to 3 hours, and don't even bother changing your music guy either. That guy's already famous for doing film scores anyway, so you don't even need to change that.
Right.
It's like most you should do is just get the guy to write more of the same kind of music for it. But it tells you the shots you need. It tells you everything, and I know they're going to fuck that up.
Yeah.
So when I see something like Mega Man, which was done in a day and age where, quite frankly, the technology was not quite ready to give us a coherent story yet in a video game.
Right.
And therefore require some actual talent and imagination to make into a good movie.
Yeah.
Moving on. Steven Spielberg's production company DreamWorks is apparently splitting from Disney. Don't know if they're splitting completely to do their own thing or if they're going to team up with another studio, but yep, it looks like it's time for a divorce. Don't worry, you guys can keep Shrek. And in just plain movie news, speaking of Steven Spielberg, he recently came out and said his opinion on these on the rash of superhero movies. Apparently getting lots of publicity for the fact that he says that, hey, superhero movies are basically going to go the way of a Western. I don't agree. I think they're going to go the way of the spy flick.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Marvel right now is going to be more or less a mainstay. Superheroes will lose the level of popularity they have now. It happens to every big genre film that suddenly becomes the it genre. But it's Marvel's here to stay. it's pretty much that simple. It's like the James Bond movies with the spy flick. The spy flick may go out of style. James Bond will still be kicking it. The superhero movie is going to go out of style. Marvel's still going to be making movies and still basically making all the money doing it.
Yeah.
And there will still be a few others here and there in between. And let's be honest, it's already survived past the point it was supposed to anyway, so even that's a miracle.
Yeah.
Still remember, I was like, as much as I love superhero movies, as much as I love that so many of them were getting made, and were more true to their source material than ever at that time, I kind of figured 2008 was when it was going to start dying out. And then we got the 1-2 punch. And then we got, the 1-2 punch of Iron Man and The Dark Knight. And we're riding that wave to this day. And I think it's pretty much going to stick until the Avengers Infinity War is done. Pretty much. But that's my 2 cents. Hey, speaking of returning favorites, if you didn't get a chance to see Mad Max Fury Road in the IMAX theaters, your chance is coming again. It's returning September 11th. Yes. Moving on to television. Home releases. Brooklyn Nine-Nine Season 2. I don't care if that's not one of the more geek-related shows or classic television like I normally do. That show's too awesome. It gets a recommendation. Gotham Season 1. The show that might one day be good.
It has so much promise. Oh.
Yep. It's like Walking Dead Season 2, the series.
Oh.
Haven, Season 5, Part 1. Hill Street Blues, Season 6. Homeland, Season 4. Mr. Belvedere, Season 4.
Wow.
I couldn't resist. Supernatural's 10th season. And Transformers Prime Ultimate Decepticons. 2 comic book theme shows got trailers released pretty much on the same day in the past week. Arrow and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have not had a chance to watch either of them yet, but I do know two things. One, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely playing up the fact that we will be seeing the new Warriors, and that they're apparently going to be very Inhuman-centric, or we're going to see tons of Inhumans. Definitely a couple of returning new characters they made for last season. As for the Arrow one, that ties into our next section, First Look, as it gave us our first look at the character of Diggle in his new battle outfit. Remember in season 1, for the first season and a half of Arrow, how he just had that little grease across the eyes, and that was his disguise. And there was I remember at least the Flash made a joke that's it, that's all you've got. Yeah, that can't possibly be the worst disguise now. Oh my god, that outfit is horrible. It's with a bullet helmet thing. And, oh god. Why do you hate us, CW?
But I did see the trailer, and it's a show I don't watch. I don't follow it. I don't follow Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's just one of those things I just haven't really gotten into yet.
Oh, I was talking about the suit on Arrow, but I haven't seen the Agents.
Yeah, on Arrow too. I mean, it's both of those shows. I haven't really gotten into them. I think I might have seen an episode or two of each. But in the trailer for Arrow, we saw a little bit of Constantine being in there, and I'm just okay. If it's gonna give me a shot to see him again.
It's Arrow. I cannot recommend the season 2 of Arrow enough. It's I like season 1. I think season 1 is underrated because to me it was a systematic deconstruction and in some cases destruction of all the cliches of superhero television shows and sort of getting them out of the way so they could do the show they wanted to do.
Right.
Especially those first few episodes. But the second season was near perfection and is easily the best rendition of Deathstroke outside of the comics ever. And then season 3 came along, and I only got halfway through it. I'm going to finish it eventually. It's just I kind of dropped out of television for a while because I had projects I need to get done. And pretty much I think Greg Berlanti, the guy who runs the show, kind of put way too much attention on The Flash and not enough on Arrow because it's not quite to the point of bad yet for me, but when you compare it to season 2, there's a definite decrease in quality.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, John Bernthal released on Twitter a picture of him in front of a bunch of guns, teasing his appearance on Daredevil.
Yeah.
We love you, John Bernthal. Also, Muppets. We forgot for the first time ever, we saw Kermit's new girlfriend, Denise, who basically looks like a younger, sexier Miss Piggy.
Yep.
Yes, I use that combination of words, but literally there's no other way to describe that character.
He definitely has a
taste for bacon.
Yeah. he definitely has a type. Is what I was getting at. But yeah, totally.
Finger looking good. Anyway, in casting news, that's actually where most of our news is this week. Game of Thrones, Samuel Tarly's younger brother Dickon Tarly has been cast, being played by Freddie Stoma, as well as the other Greyjoy, Euron, who is being played by, and I know I'm butchering this name, Pilo Asbach. I don't know how to pronounce that weird thing where it's like a lowercase a and a lowercase e combined together into one thing. I don't know how to pronounce that at all.
It's pronounced as A, Aether.
So it's like Asbach?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
In Luke Cage news, one of my favorite black actors has been cast. Mahershala Ali.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Well, he's known probably as one of the main characters on House of Cards. I know him from way back when he was on the 44, and he was my favorite character on that show because he was the man. Mm-hmm. Also, they cast Simone Missick as one of my personal favorite like supporting Marvel characters, Misty Knight. Who, for people who don't know, Misty Knight is a private detective with a cybernetic arm.
Oh, cool.
She's awesome. Basically, imagine Jackie Brown, Foxy Brown with a cybernetic arm. You pretty much got the idea. Speaking of sexy ladies with frizzy hair, and Doctor Who, it has been confirmed that we can expect the return of River Song in the next Christmas special. I know you're
Oh my god. It's gonna be weird though. Like it's gonna be weird her playing off of
Capaldi?
Capaldi, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. This is the first time she's played a character. Just the first time she's played the character with an actor who's even older than her. Because she's into her probably late 40s now. Because she was in her mid 40s when she was cast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she's in her late 40s. Capaldi's in his 50s. Like before that, she's had the edge. Yeah, both Tennant and Smith, when they were playing the part, were in their early 30s. No, mid 30s for Tennant, but definitely early 30s for Matt Smith. So, which I think is awesome. We don't have enough cougars on television, especially in like sci-fi shows. And I think the woman is sexy. I could be in my 20s, and I'd still be more than happy to be her snogging partner. Speaking of the Brits, Penny Dreadful has cast Shazad Latif as Dr. Jekyll. Yes, I said Jekyll, not Jekyll, because I have since learned the appropriate way to actually pronounce that name. I'm a snob. No word yet on whether or not he'll be playing Mr. Hyde. All I know is he won't have that guy from the actual show Hyde beat, but hey, nobody's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Going more to the DC television news for Supergirl, Ido Goldberg is taking on two roles: the mad scientist supervillain T.O. Morrow and his superhero creation, the Red Tornado. No word on whether or not he'll be calling for a piggy. Props if you get that joke. And also moving from CBS to CW, The Flash has cast awesome, badass horror movie actor Tony Todd to play the voice of Professor Zoom for Season 2. We like Tony Todd. He's the candy man. In series news, Under the Dome is canceled.
No. I haven't watched it.
I'm surprised it took 3 seasons.
I'm the reason it's getting canceled. It's one of those shows like, oh, look, I should see that. I should see that. Oh. Now I'll just wait for it to, all get out there, and now that it's all canceled, I won't have to, there's not the suspense of, oh, now I'm all caught up. Now I gotta wait for the next season.
Yeah, I tried to watch it when it first came on. I think I made it the first 3 or 4 episodes before I was just like, I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really don't care. It's not a bad show. It's just I find it kind of boring personally.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, as far as the opposite of being canceled, which is renewed, we can expect new seasons of both Dark Matter and Killjoys on Sci-Fi.
Cool.
Whereas going a darker route to the horror series Scream on MTV, their finale paid a special little tribute to the recently lost Wes Craven. Simply a title card at the end that said, "Thanks for the scares."
No.
Which is surprisingly heartfelt and subtle for MTV.
Mm-hmm.
And in network news, NBC has picked up the Roberto Aguirre Sacasa and Greg Berlanti series, Brides of Dracula, or at least they're doing the pilot, I forget which. So we'll see what they do with that. And over at the BBC, they've confirmed that they're doing a miniseries which will adapt China Miéville's The City and the City. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the book, but that author's name has been popping up lately, and basically, which they do. Don't know if it's a she or a he, but they basically write a whole lot of dark fantasy kind of fiction. Like every time the name pops up, I look them up and I'm like, I should read these.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who feel no game isn't dark enough. Video game news releases this week. Armikrog, Tearaway Unfolded, Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse, Castle Crashers Remastered, Cross of the Dutchman, Super Mario Maker, and I am not kidding. I wish I had to compile this list sooner so I could look this up. This is one of the best titles for anything I have ever come across in my life, coming out this week. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Wow.
The title alone makes me want the game. This could be basically put just like a space version of that fucking Oregon Trail game from the fucking 80s. We all know how much of a piece of shit that was, and I'll still be like, but the title. Activision's Deadpool, which was originally released for the PS3, is getting a PS4 update. Get ready to be able to play that on your PS4 soon. From what I got of it, from what I heard as a game, it's fairly mediocre, standard third-person action or bullshit. But if you're a hardcore Deadpool fan, that's where its strengths are, is just their depiction of Deadpool and how they handle that in gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly with the banter.
They did a really good job on it.
Yeah. So which means basically it's a lot like the Punisher game in my mind.
Yeah.
Because like Punisher game, very standard actioner, but if you're a fan of the comic, boy, you get some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also, apparently, there's a PC mod for Grand Theft Auto Grand Theft Auto 5 San Andreas, which is funny because I'm pretty sure it's not the same game, where you can put the Star Wars Star Destroyer into game. I can't remember if you put it in the gameplay or in the sky, but still, it's fucking there. Moving on to comic books. Single issue suggestions this week: Starfire #4, X-Files Season 11 #2, Sherlock Holmes: The 7% Solution #2, because I am a Sherlock Holmes geek, Star Trek Green Lantern #3, because it's various members of the Star Trek crew and a couple of enemies all getting rings from the different spectrums. I mean, it's awesome. Quake, the Shield 50th Anniversary Special #1, Ms. Marvel #18, and she's approaching the end of the Marvel Universe, Batman #44, continuing Gordon's adventures as the Bat, Journey to Star Wars Shattered Empire #1, and our only one new series I got for this week. You may want to actually check this out just because of the title. Head Lopper #1. As for graphic novels this week, Judge Dredd Classics, The Dark Judges hardcover, $24.99, and the trade paperback of Saga Volume 5 at $14.99. Marvel news. Marvel has released the first cover to Scarlet Witch by former Iron Fist artist David Aja. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. And I finally announced that the person drawing the book will be artist Kevin Wada. Also, Star Wars Special C-3PO reunites the classic 90s Star Wars writer-artist team of James Robinson with a name that suddenly escapes me. Motherfucker. How did that happen? Damn it. Trying to think. Tony Harris. Fuck me. I'm a huge Starman fan. I should not have failed that. Yes, Tony Harris, the artist Tony Harris, is returning with James Robinson to do the C-3PO Star Wars special. So, I believe this is their first collaboration in like almost 20 years.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, As we talked about this earlier when I made the mistake of trying to list every new Marvel title that will be coming out around about October. One of the new Hulk series called the Totally Awesome Hulk, where they purposely blacked out the face so that we didn't know who it was. Well, they have now revealed who the new Hulk is. That's right, it's not Bruce Banner. It is Korean American teenager Amadeus Cho. The kid whose superpower is that he is the sixth smartest person on the planet. I'm not kidding when I said that's his superpower. His brain automatically adjusts itself to whatever ever sentient, intelligent living being joins the planet, so that he will always be the sixth.
Huh.
And now he's a Hulk.
Wow.
In hindsight, I really should have seen that coming, because that really explains why the title is now the Totally Awesome Hulk. Only a fucking teenage boy would call himself that.
Mm-hmm.
In DC News, they have released finally the cover for the first issue of The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, drawn by Dave Johnson, a picture of the older Batman standing over the corpse of the Joker, with the words written in the Joker's blood spilled out into a bat signal, pick your logo or choose your logo or something like that. Or your logo here. I guess this is supposed to be provocative. I will look at the series with massive trepidation because, as much as I admire Frank Miller's early work, he is a madman.
Mm-hmm.
A xenophobic, sexist madman. In independent news, popular 90s artist Scott McDaniel, who really I just recently was wondering what the hell happened to that dude. He was drawing Daredevil for quite a few years. He was the first regular artist on the very first Nightwing solo series, and now he's doing his very first creator-owned work, IT. I don't know what it's about. I know it's about modern banking, and it has one of the most awesome covers I have ever seen. For those of you who are not familiar with Scott McDaniel's artwork, he makes up for the fact that he's got a sort of weird cartoonish style, complete with a weird habit of creating a concave lens image with lots of stark shadow, and is not afraid of doing uber violence. The reason I bring this up is because the cover is, aside from a few taglines on the side and the title IT, it's just the face of a man, but the whole thing is black. So all you're seeing is this guy's teeth, his eyes, his necktie, and blood running down his face.
Wow.
It's striking. It's Scott McDaniel at his best, is all I can say. It's amazing. Speaking of artists, Francis Manapul has put up on social network the cover to his very first creator-owned series called Broken Hollow. And that's all we know about it. We see the image, a picture of a girl with a car. We know it's called Broken Hollow, but he hasn't released anything else yet. He just says he's collaborating with some people and other artists on it. So we'll see how that goes. And Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman's Skybound has hired John Moisson as editor. He, just before this, was working for Marvel and is pretty much responsible for everything from Avengers vs. X-Men up to the current Secret Wars from an editorial standpoint. So this is actually a fairly big deal, and we'll see where that goes as the future goes on. And finally, in the area of manga, if you're like me and you've been reading most of your comics digitally lately, Attack on Titan is now at Comixology. I can finally read this bloody thing because it's taking fucking forever to get another season. Damn anime. And now we come to the part we always dread. Yeah, I've decided I'm done with the Irish accent. Sometimes it's just hard to do it when you're trying to be a little serious, but, the Irish accent's kind of a joke. Anyway, and this is definitely one. Brad Anderson passed away at the age of 91. He is the creator of Marmaduke, or was. You will be missed. Fortunately, that's the only hope that we got. For reasons that are completely beyond me, I'll have to look into this. We don't seem to have anything this week under science. And because things were, I've had a rough week. I did this very, very, very last minute when I compiled these things together. So when it got time to do miscellaneous, I did not have a chance to write anything down. So just like how I had to do the couple of episodes ago because I didn't have a chance to compile anything, I'm just going to read some of the stories we got right off of my iPad and sticking with the ones that seem to be the most significant. And let's see. Nope. Oh, God. Okay. Well, apparently Hayao Miyazaki is going to be building a children's nature retreat. That's so him. So good on him for that. Also, the Flintstone house is actually up for sale. Yes, somebody built the actual Flintstone house.
Well, I don't doubt it.
And they're selling it. Also, at some point in the past, somebody wrote a short called Bat Metal, which is exactly what it sounds like. Well, now it has a sequel. If you want to see it, be warned, not safe for work. Speaking of Batman, it's a piece of advice. If you are going to take an SUV and custom build it so it is as tricked out in the Batman style as you can, don't cheat on your significant other. As this woman did, as what happened with this woman, who basically put said tricked out SUV up for sale. In toy news, fully functional version of the new Star Wars droid BB-8.
Yeah, I saw that.
You want one, don't you?
Kind of. That and I saw somebody did a quadcopter version of the Millennium Falcon that looks just awesome.
You know, I still remember when that first teaser trailer came out, I had to argue with someone who's being a complete freaking moron about the Star Wars movies. He's pretty much already made his mind the new Star Wars is going to suck just because he doesn't like J.J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the arguments he kept going back to over and over and over again, and literally, this was one of those weird cases where it was me and a whole lot of other people all almost universally arguing against him because the things he was saying was just so ridiculously ignorant. But one of the things he tried to prove that was shit was that he didn't like the redesign for R2-D2. And he was talking about BB-8, who just all of us were like, what the hell makes you think that's R2-D2? Doesn't look like him, doesn't the same color as him. And the guy's just like, well, he's got the same top as R2-D2. And I'm like, tons of droids in Star Wars have the same top as R2-D2. Try it. It was a wonderful ordeal. It was the only time I actually genuinely trolled someone. Because that level of ignorance just called for it. Let's see. Apparently, Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, something called Sanrio has decided that they are sick and tired of bakers basically using their characters or any logo designs on their cakes, and apparently are looking to start attacking businesses that do that.
Wow.
Good luck with that. Don't know how you're going to get good publicity. When you explain why a baker can't give a 3-year-old boy that Iron Man cake he wants so bad. And if you're ever in Tokyo, because Tokyo seems to have all the cool shit, There's going to be a Peanuts Cafe.
Huh.
You know, I'm visiting Tokyo soon. Just saying. Just saying. We got something to check out. And finally, and this goes back to Star Wars news, for the first time ever in the new official extended universe, even if that means official for now, we are getting a gay hero. Before somebody starts getting on me saying there's already a gay character in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, there's a gay villain in the Star Wars universe. We're talking hero now. This is a hero, a good guy. Give me just a second. Had to take off the Wi-Fi. It was giving me a bit of trouble here. Oh, come on. You can do it. I believe in you. See, this is why I usually write this shit down.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. In the new novel by Charles Wendig, Star Wars Aftermath, which is basically one of the new novels, like I said, it's the new official extended universe, we're going to be introduced to a character called Singer Rothvelis, an AWOL Imperial Loyalty officer who begins to side with the rebellion after witnessing the horrors of the Battle of Endor. But that's not where the gay character comes in. The novel, which goes on, and the novel also includes two gay background characters: Esmel, the older sister of the rebel fighter Nora Wexley, and her wife Shireen. So there you go. In a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago, things got progressive. And that does it for us this week on High Class Geek News. Nikki B, I'm always glad to see you are here. I find it funny. It's like, it's the first time in a couple months you've been here. When do you pop up when no one else can? It's almost like the last time.
Yeah.
It's like when no one else is there. Nikki B.
Somebody needs me.
Red shirt and all.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Hopefully next week we'll have a few more of us all together enjoying, making stupid jokes, talk about sex Muppets as we geek out like we do every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will be here again. I am, of course, a friendly Amber Geekzoid Evan Ransom. This has been Nikki B.
Thanks.
We will see you all next week.
Have a good weekend.